Guys, how was everyone's summer vacation? Mine was crazy fun, crazy busy, and I went a little crazy. I went into the summer with a lot of really big plans. I got a lot of teaching gigs lined up. I started dating a girl I really like. Also, I developed a new way of keeping myself happy. So if I felt sad, I'm just going to put externalized happiness on me. Exhibit A. So this summer I started with 4 major time-consuming teaching jobs, 3 of which overlapped at the same time. So I'd leave my house to drive up to my old college, SUNY Purchase, where I was going to co-teach the SUNY Purchase Summer Film Camp. And I did that from 9 to 4, and then I would go back to Brooklyn, where I would help the Spring Lab kids at Reworks finish their films. Except for on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when I would leave Purchase early to go to Columbia and teach from 4 to 5 about social justice issues and to help them make a documentary. Afterwards, I would then go to Spring Lab and help them finish their films. Whew! Which was a lot of work that I was taking on, but I was fairly confident that I could do it because I was in the right place and I was happy. And then things got less happy. So the girl who I had been dating decided that we shouldn't date anymore. And that was, you know, let's just not talk about that. Let's get more happy things. So certain things I probably could have handled were I at my normal level of self were made a little bit more difficult. So for example, who among our audience spent their summer working with a teenager on the autism spectrum and making a movie? This kid wrote a 25-page script for a 5-minute movie with scenes in Paris, an alien world called Eldora, and there were aliens and the dinosaur chase scene, and a whole lot of stuff that is just hard to manage, especially since this kid also came with a lot of anger issues. We somehow, without really communicating it, decided that whenever he would get angry, he would come and find me and he would put his hands on my shoulders and yell into my face so as not to scare away the other students by yelling at them. And the day after my heart is stomped on, I am in a full bodysuit on the hottest day of the year and had to say the line, "My name is Wang Wang." He actually made a really good film. I kind of miss him already. Whew, this is getting hard. Let's put on more stuff. And then we also have the Spring Lab screening. The Spring Lab screening was so much fun. It was one of the best screenings I've ever seen. I'm getting kind of a little emotional just thinking about how it's done, and I miss it already. And we're going to need another thing to counteract the sad. That's better. I feel protected from sad feels now. What else happened this summer? Oh yeah, the Columbia project went great. We were talking about social justice issues. And it was a great class because I love talking about the news with teenagers and talking about hope and what we can do and how the world is a great place for them to strive and nothing could really go wrong. And then the cops ruined that message this summer by killing Eric Garner in Staten Island, John Crawford III in Ohio, and Michael Brown in Missouri because they were black. Which to me doesn't make any sense because what in your right, how, just like, come on. So that complicated things in our class. We made a really strong film from all of that and talked about how if we want to see a difference in the world, then we have to make it. And I'm going through this summer and I'm feeling like I'm making a difference, but I'm not feeling happy about it. I'm feeling exhausted. And in perfect timing, the last of my classes that I had to teach was a stand-up vaudeville class for 8-year-olds. So we start the class off and everyone's funny and everyone's hilarious and it's Monday and everyone's enjoying it. And then Monday night, Robin Williams kills himself. That probably struck harder than I was expecting it to. When you have a person in your life for so long and they mean so much to you, you just don't expect them to leave that soon. You kind of expect there to be more time with them. And to just not get that time is a cheap trick. So the next day I bring in 40 minutes of Robin Williams clips for my kids to watch, and we talk about Robin Williams, and we talk about depression, and we talk about suicide. And so one of my kids turns to me and she says, "So Robin Williams was really funny, right?" I was like, "Yeah, Robin Williams is a hilarious human being." And she says, "Well, how can someone so funny be so sad?" And I didn't have an answer for that one. But by the end of the class, everyone could do a really good imitation of a hot dog. So that's a start. This was a hard summer. It was one of the first times in my life where my hope about the world and about myself and about other people that I care for just went away. And I don't know how to get it back. And when all my teaching gigs finally finished, I started having time for myself. and I started watching Robin Williams stand-up specials. And one of those specials was called An Evening at the Met. And it was hilarious, because of course it's hilarious. And then there's an encore, and he's called back on, and he starts doing this newspaper salesman guy. And then that character starts talking to Robin Williams. It's no longer jokes, it's talking about mortality, because Robin Williams just had a daughter at this time. And at the end of it, Robin Williams says, you know what's funny? What's right is what's left after you do everything else wrong. Ain't that a bitch? I don't know what that means, but I like the sound of it. I've done a lot of things wrong this summer with my relationships, with my work, with my own mental headspace, but what's left is me. And what's left is you. So let's make something of that. Let's make a world we can find hope in.